33-year-old woman with 3 children who was acting like a high school girl, like afraid of the mean girls. You know, I just decided at 33, when am I gonna make that change to not be her? Because if it's not this thing, it's gonna be something else, because wherever I go, there I am. And forget I don't care about being an awesome coach or whatever that means in terms of the success of it. This is changing my life, and why would I not give this to somebody? Or why would I not put myself out there in a way that would bless somebody? Why would I not want to risk what someone would think of me? I knew that I could give them something. So I'm gonna do this because I want to do it. I'm not gonna do this first, like, who cares what that means to be successful? Yeah, great, they're doing great, good for them. I'm gonna do this for me. And so what I realized, I was approaching this transformationally and not transactionally. So that's what I'm going to ask you guys here today. This is my little slide for when you picture your goals. Do you see this opportunity as transactional or transformational? So what do I mean by transactional? Business is transactional. I don't mean, actual transactions, which this will come into play in a minute. But what I do mean is transactional means there's an expectation of reciprocity, right? Like, we expect to get something from what we give. There is, if I do this, I'll get this. We want that reciprocation. For a lot of us, and for me when I was approaching other endeavors, other efforts, it was what kind of feedback that I'm doing well, what kind of recognition, what kind of validation, what kind of rewards, what kind of short-term rewards will I get to know that I'm on the right track? And that was how I always viewed everything I was doing, was I needed that, like, hey, good girl, hey, good job, hey, you got this. And I needed that to know or to want to continue. And that's what stopped me from everything I was doing. With this, I thought, forget, like, that wasn't even a thought, because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to get something from that in terms of validation, recognition. There's no, I wasn't expecting reciprocity. I was expecting, oh my gosh, I need to change who I am, because I want to be the kind of person who doesn't hold herself back and change others' lives and change her own life because of all these fears. So I decided I'm just going to do this the way I want to do this. And I want to love people, and I want to, help people. So when I saw this, like, success club thing, all these ranks and stuff, and I was like, okay, cute little sales company with the infomercials, like, whatever. I don't want your sales quotas. I'm going to work my business the way I want to work my business. So I was, like, rebellious against the success of the metrics. But, because I was still skeptical. I was still one of those skeptics about this. I looked at that thing and I was like, well, what does that even mean, success club? 3 people? Like, yeah, well, of course I want to help 3 people. It's like, well, if I want to help 3 people, I want to help 10 people. I want to help a lot of people. I just lost my I want to be the kind of person that helps at least 3 people. So what does that mean to me? I want to be the kind of person who shows up in a way that's easy. I want to be the kind of person who has enough conversations and has enough connections and builds enough relationships that she puts out enough invitations or the invitations are easy. I want to be the kind of person that invitations make sense. Like, I'm not afraid because it's just easy. I want that. That's what I want. And so that's the way I've approached everything in the business. Success Club didn't excite me, but being the kind of person that Success Club was easy, that excited me. That's what I wanted for my life. And everything that I approached in this business in terms of growing it had nothing to do with, I need that metric, I need that to define that I'm doing well. It was, who do I want to become that's just easy? And that's what's made showing up and doing the things easy. And you know what I mean by easy. It's not ever easy to work hard, but I would bet none of you are not hard workers. I think the people that they don't work hard, it's not about that. I don't think any of us have a hard time working hard for what we really want. We just kind of get it a little twisted. Any of you guys know Bob Heilig? Familiar with Bob Heilig? Anybody raise any hands? Yes, he listens to his podcast. If you don't listen to his podcast, I'm a huge Bob Heilig fan. You're a virtual upline, so check him out. Because I love this quote by him. Network marketing is just a personal development program with a compensation plan attached to it. Like, how good is that? Like, I love that because when I saw that first, I was like, yes, that is exactly what this is. But I think we all kind of get that. We're all like, yes, I agree, that's right, I love that. That makes me feel really good inside. Except that a lot of us can get it backwards. You know, we think this, but then once we get going at it, we turn it into a compensation plan with a personal development program attached to it. So, listen, I know a lot of you are like, that sounds really good, Megan. That sounds really cute. Like, but I need to make money. I have bills. I have my, you know, we have debt. We have to be transactional. You're like, that sounds really good, but like we actually we have some goals we gotta make happen. Okay, so I am not discounting any of that, for sure. But we're not in a business that pays transactionally like your salary or hourly job, right? That you show up, you get paid. You show up well, you get a bonus. You get, you know, that's how it works. So, but that's not how this pays. So why would we treat it that way? We get paid transformationally. So no matter if you came into this business for the accountability, for, you know, the community, for all those amazing things, or you came in because, you know, I need this to be something that creates freedom for us. None of us can afford to approach this primarily transactionally. So I'm going to share with you, basically right now, you know, what exactly is that difference, and then help us all to identify maybe where we default, and you know, where we kind of default day to day, and my four favorite best practices for building that transformational business. Okay, so what's the difference? So transactional means we show up when we feel like it. We feel like it's going to get something, we're going to get something out of it. Transformational says, I'm going to focus on the big picture, who I want to be, the character of your business. I have a vision for what I want my business to look like. Transactional says, you give and I'll take, then I'll give back. Transformational says, let's go through life together and we'll accomplish something bigger. Transactional is pragmatically driven. It makes sense on paper. Transformational is philosophically driven. Transactional prioritizes the tangible rewards in the short period of time. Transformational prioritizes higher intrinsic needs. Transactional is responsive, transformational is proactive. Transactional appeals to one's self-interest, and transformational puts joint purpose ahead of oneself. So, when we identify, you've probably already identified, you know, as you're thinking about this, you've probably already identified some parts of your business or some parts of your days or some seasons of your business so far where you maybe default to this. And that's okay, like we all do. But the more awareness we can create around these things, the more change we can create. So I want to help us to see those times when we're maybe behaving or our activities are kind of a byproduct of these thoughts, like where we can course correct. And I wrote down, seeing what needs to change will be hard, but accepting the status quo will be hurtful. So this is basically the key question. How much of your time in this business is spent in fulfillment, and how much of the time is spent in frustration? And that's kind of your key right now. If you think about it, that should give you a little bit of a sense of, you know, how much you are maybe defaulting to that transactional mindset. Let's think about things like comparison and envy, and when we find ourselves paying a lot of attention to what others are doing. This is us thinking about what we're not getting. This is us thinking in that mindset of, I want the reciprocity, I want what she has, why do I not have what she has? Or that idea of, if I can't do what she's doing, if I can't do it the same way she's doing it, is it even worth it? That is when we're thinking transactionally. I had this funny, I had a conversation with a coach in my downline who's a newer coach, and I've been here almost, like 5.5, it'll be 6 years in May. And she's like, you know, I look at you guys, I look at people like you and Lindsay that way, and I'm like, if I can't do it, like, how would I? And I was like, wait a minute, like, when I joined this business, like Lindsay Matway was like leap years, and still is leap years ahead of me. And she's put us together in this, so I thought it was funny. And I was like, if I had thought the same thing when I came in about those people, where would I be now, And that is the kind of mindset around this business that stops a lot of people. We think about how you show up on social media when you post, but you don't actually invite. You have those seasons you can't remember the last time you invited, but you're posting every day. That is us kind of looking for that validation, looking for that, like someone to show up in our inbox. That is, if I do this, I'll get this. Waiting till the end of the month to go for your goals. Not talking to your coaches till the end of the month, those of you who are trying to help coaches advance in their own goals, not talking to them until it kind of meets your goals. These are the ways, these are the times that we are showing up transactionally. But here's the news. This is simple. It's really a choice. It really is a choice, because every single decision that you make in your business is influenced by this. It'll influence how you show up. If you show up, it's as simple as a choice. So I'm going to share with you my 4 best practices to being a transformational coach in 2019. So, who's got goals?
Woo!
All right, awesome. Are those goals measurable?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Make sure they're awesome and measurable. Measurable goals are awesome, okay? So let me not let that, I want that point to be made really clearly. I'm a big fan of targets and metrics. Sounds kind of warm fuzzy up here, but like, they're really important. It's really, really important to have these goals that give us something to stretch for. We need those. They show us the way. They show us, they allow us to reverse engineer the process. So I am a huge fan of them. Not only am I a huge fan of them, I think they are required to level up to a better self. I really am a huge fan of those. We need those measurable goals. I think about the transformers. I think about how, being in the test group, I would have like these 6 weeks of the same transformers on every Monday, every Tuesday, it was the same move. And you had to write down your number, and then the next week, the goal was to beat that number. And, it's a 60-second sprint interval, so of course we know we're gonna go really hard, but when we have that number to like push for, it makes the biggest difference, right? But here is where we get it wrong, is we let those numbers and those metrics, we let those goals, we let them judge us. We can let them define our success, whether or not we get there. And so the key, as we'll hear at this next, my first best practice is to not let these numbers be what defines your success, to let them be what helps you to elevate, because the point is whether or not you get to the goal is not the point. It's who you become in the process. So the first best practice is to set goals with clarity. So we talk a lot about the why in this business. When you get started with your upline, they explain to you how important it is for you to know your why, to dig deep, to find out this why, so that you know how to be motivated by what to be motivated for in the hard times. And that's important. But it's generally about what we can get out of it, and that is okay. Like, that why is what will this give me? This is a solution for something. So that's great. We need to have that, what can I get out of this? That's not a bad thing, but we kind of leave it there. And I want to start asking some bigger questions, some better questions about that why. So who will your why cause you to become, and what change will it create? So I have these questions. Do you believe you'll be happy when you reach your goal, and why? So I really would encourage you guys to, when you leave here, to ask yourself these questions, because I truly believe this is what's going to create the kind of action and daily fulfillment, ultimate fulfillment. Because whether you grow a business that primarily transactionally or primarily transformationally, even if you do have success with thinking about it and more towards a transactional side, that fulfillment is going to be exhausting, and it's going to be really hard to maintain it and to stay fulfilled. So I would love for you guys to ask yourselves these questions about these big goals that you're setting. So do you believe your goal will make you happy, and why? Is it the goal that will make you happy? Or is it the person that you're creating? What will it mean to you But what mean about you? Who do you want to be that makes this goal possible? So, I have a challenger who's lost a lot of weight. She lost a lot of weight before she came to me through other measures, but it was just through eating, and she had great success, but she knew that it was creeping back on and she needed better help and she wanted exercise, and so she's had a tremendous journey. She had lost a lot of weight and gained a good bit of it back. And she's had an incredible journey, and she finished 80 days session last year, and she had the Bahamas trip coming up. And she's like, Megan, I'm trying to set my goal, and I really want to get back down to that number that I weighed before, when I lost all that weight. I really want to get down to it. And that's going to be my Bahamas goal. I'm like, okay. She's like, but then I went back and I found my measurements, or I found the papers that I had written everything on, and I'm 14 pounds heavier now, but I'm 5 inches smaller. And I was like, that's amazing. And so, of course, this is a wonderful moment. We've been a coach and challenger, right? You're like, this is so awesome. But she's like, but now I don't know I'm not really sure I don't really know what to do in terms of setting my next goal. I'm like, I don't know that. I can't answer that for you, because she was talking about different sizes. Maybe those are great. I was like, but let me ask you this, as you're deciding what you want your goal to be. Do you want to be a size 6? Or do you want to be a woman who shows up every day for her workout? Do you want to be a size 6, or do you want to be a disciplined person? Do you want to be a size 6, or do you want to be somebody who actually cares about what she eats? And because of what it's going to do for her family. Do you want to be a size 6, or do you want to be someone who's a great example for her daughter? Do you want to be a diamond coach? Or do you want to be a person who believes in the power of discipline? Do you want to be a diamond coach, or do you want to be somebody who actually cares to bring another coach up who never thought she could do this and show them that they could be an emerald? Do you want to be a diamond coach? Or do you want to be somebody who takes herself seriously? Do you want to be a diamond coach? Or do you want to be somebody who gets over themselves to share something with somebody who could really use this? So I say this because I know we get so attached to our outcomes, but we're not thinking about, we can actually be successful right now. We can actually be happy right now, because we can define what a diamond coach is or a size 6 is by those behaviors, by those actions today. And so when we think about in terms of that, I can be thrilled and happy and joyful and successful every day. I don't have to celebrate when I become those things. I can be that person, because we know how this business works, right? It's a delay. It's a delay on all the activity. So you don't become a 6-figure earner overnight, right? Like, you show up as a 6-figure earner for a long time before you actually receive that thing. So, what changes do you need to make the goal possible? So if you think about why you maybe aren't where you want to be, what is that main thing? What is the one thing that you know is standing in the way? Like, there might be one thing. I can think about it in my life. Like, one thing that I know is like really creating the most resistance. And that will be kind of your primary goal. That's how you'll measure, like, that's where you'll find your most success, is focusing on what can I do. That's where you're gonna find the most joy, satisfaction, confidence, fulfillment, is focusing on that one thing. That's where your transformation is gonna start. And then, what do you want your business to be characterized by? What do you want people to say about you? At the end of your life, what would you like people to thank you for? Think about that. Okay, so. All right. Number 2 is to make regular relational account deposits. So these are the transactions that matter. So basically, this question is, are you a giver or are you a taker? We all have relational accounts with everybody that we meet or don't know. Like, I don't really know a lot of you, but hopefully I am depositing into your relational account right now with value. So that's how we deposit. We provide value. We go out of our way to help people. We withdraw when we're making requests of people, and we do that when we come into this business, right? All of a sudden we're a coach, and now we want to withdraw on a whole bunch of accounts. So, we're in a business where our network determines our net worth. How you invest in people, and the cool thing is you can choose this. You can choose this net worth. You can create that net worth yourself, because you create those connections, you make those deposits. So I'm going to share with you my favorite ways to have 3 of them in this business, and there are countless ways you can do this. I'm sure you all have your